Hi, and welcome to the Breakthrough Emotional Eating podcast. My name is Kristen Jones, and thank you so much for joining me this week. So, as I announced a couple of weeks ago, my podcast was going to take a different direction, and I'm so excited to get to interview some of the people that I am so blessed to work with at Lifetime. I've talked about before that I teach fitness and yoga classes at Lifetime in Walnut Creek, California. And I have so many amazing people that I work with, and I felt like I really wanted to showcase what they're doing because they're taking a very not a different approach, but I think it's so important to have many different aspects and many different approaches to both fitness and wellness and nutrition and just your best life. And so this is the beginning of a series of interviews with people that I work with that I am so honored to work with and allow you to be able to be exposed to so many more people who have so many different ways of looking at eating and fitness and all the things that we talk about here on the podcast all the time. So I am honored to be interviewing for the first time my wonderful colleague and friend, Evelyn Franklin. Evelyn, welcome to the podcast. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about Evelyn's story, about how she got into fitness. And I have to tell you all, she is amazing. So from when the first day, I think it was the first day that we ran into each other at the club, our club had just opened, and all I know was she just said, "Hey, beautiful." And I was like, "I love you."
You're beautiful.
But she is one of those people that you see and she just lights up a room and everyone here loves her. So again, I'm so honored to have her. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's an honor being here with you.
Absolutely. So if you can tell the audience and share with everyone how did you start out in fitness? What was your journey like?
Okay, so I think that fitness has been the main variable in my life ever since I can remember. I remember going with my mom to aerobics class. Like there's no babysitter, there's no such thing as nanny. So my mom would take me with her to, like small. It was like women's clubs back in the days, and then there was step class and aerobics, and there were some machines there, but it was always in my life. And then from a young age, I started dancing like Brazilian folklore, like frevo, maracatu. So that was a big part of my life. It was dancing, samba, all of that good stuff. And I started just finding my way around the gym, and I started actually working out like around 14, 15 years old.
Oh, wow.
So that's one thing that has always been in my life. Like a variable that has always been there.
Right. And is fitness kind of the only career you've chosen as an adult, or did you do other things? Were you in corporate and then you came back to fitness?
This is actually so interesting. I was just reflecting about that the other day. I always knew that I wanted to be in fitness, and I had like a couple of jobs here and there. Either it was like doing Zumba or small.
Oh my God!
Like
your Zoom would be amazing.
Like 1 hour or 3 hours a week, because I always had so much fun with it. But when I moved to the States, my first job.
And you are from Brazil?
I'm from Brazil, born and raised. I moved at 16 years old, but I have always been around people, right? And I did go into the restaurant industry for a long time. It was like my main source of income. I served in restaurants or bartender. I ended up going to school for hospitality and tourism management. So I went to San Francisco State. Was always hospitality, has always been hospitality. And then after COVID, well, I think a little bit before COVID, that's when the shift changed to full-time fitness, right? I was like, okay, that's what I'm meant to do. I know that I want to be around people, but what is that I'm going to deliver to them? For a long time, was food, beverages, entertainment, but that's exactly what I do. But I just provide with them with exercise and nutrition, and
y'all, she is entertaining. That's for sure.
Hey, you gotta have fun, right? Life gotta be fun. So so I finally found what I was supposed to be, and it feels really good.
Oh, that's awesome. So when it comes to, because I know I've seen, if you don't follow, you can follow Evelyn Brazilian Baby, and I will put that on in the show notes, her Instagram handle. But she does some amazing reels with her food prep. And so I would love to hear about
Yeah.
your weekly food prep, like what you do to prep your meals, because she's here all the time at the club. She works all the time. So
Yeah.
what, but she also has fun. But so how, what do you, what, kind of walk us through what your philosophy is for yourself and what you kind of impart with your clients when it comes to your nutrition and that type of thing.
Yeah. So that's definitely a puzzle piece that I love to share because I think it's extremely important, right? To just the way that I see it is I have a connection with my food, my fuel, what is going to give me the energy that I need for just life, period.
Right.
So I think about 6 to 7 years ago, I was about like when I was turning 30, that's when I really connected, when I made the connection with how do I feel, right? When I do proper my body with good nutrition. And that's when it clicked and I started to just really pay attention to what I was putting into my body and the long-term effect of it, right? Because I mean, all of us suffer with some kind of emotional eating.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it can be like a chronic where you're there for a long time, or it can be a day or two or a week or whatever.
Right.
Right. So for me, is being prepared is just number one.
Right.
It's just you're prepared, right? Like there are a lot of things in life that we don't have control over.
Right.
And just having control over where you're going to fuel your body, it's so important. And one thing that I wish for everyone is to put a little more time into that because it pays off on a long term.
Right.
And we always have time to do so many other things in life. And I used to, I hate saying social media because, but it's true. I mean, you know, if we put like 15 minutes, and that's what I always practice with my clients, is like, let's just think for 15 minutes. And I do a lot of practice together with them. It's like, what are we going to do this week? What's our goal for this week? And I don't like to tell my clients what to do.
Right.
If you're my client, you know that I would say, listen, you're a grown ass
person.
You know, like I'm here to guide you to what I think would be beneficial for you. But you make your own decisions, right? And just giving people that freedom, it already feels good,
right?
Because who wants to be told what to do? Nobody.
Well, exactly,
right?
Exactly. Well, and that's the whole thing when it comes to behavior change. When people don't feel like they have had a say in it and it's their decision, if they're just looking to you to be like, well, tell me what to do, then you're the one who gets the blame when it doesn't go correct.
Correct.
So it's like that's not our jobs as coaches to tell people what to do. It's more to spark them to know the answers, because as we just were talking, we all know the answers.
Right. It's within us.
Yeah.
So I decided to like really pay more attention and really like grasp the idea of like having a relationship with my food, right? So for me, it's almost therapeutic to think about, okay, what am I going to do this week? Number one, do I need a lot of energy? What does my week look like?
Right.
And just like plan accordingly. And that's how, when I started to feel so much better when I had my lunch with me versus like, I'm scrambling right now. What am I going to get for lunch?
Right.
And then you start making bad decisions or, decisions that I'm not going to be, happy with the outcome, because I still have to work 5 more hours and what I ate is not sitting good with me. And then that's going to affect my performance. So it's a little snowball that I start observing. And I love to share that with people because it's not talked about enough.
Right.
It's not talked about.
And I think that what you said is so true. We have time to do so many other stupid things.
Right.
And if we really, we have the time, we just don't make the time.
That's right.
And so it has to be, if it's really a priority, if you really want to see the progress, you have and again, it's dependent on each person. Each person gets to make that choice, but just that food prep piece, to be able to go home or to be able to have it at work or go home and be like, I don't have to think about.
I know exactly what I'm going to
do, and I'm not distracted by the other things at home that are going to pull me off.
That's right. And I'll get stressed out or anxious, right? Because many times I'm like, I'm anxious. What am I going to make for dinner? Oh my God, what am I going to make for dinner? What am I going to do? I have to also finish out a project, and I have to do this, and what's going to be for dinner, right? And then it becomes the last thing you're going to think about, because this is so much more important. But knowing that if you fill yourself with good food, you're going to have great energy to then proceed with the projects that you're going to do. So that's when something clicked for me, and I said, you know what, I need to just take care of that piece of my life and take care of nutrition and share that with people, because again, it's not talked about. It's not something that our parents talk to us.
Right.
Like more like directly, seriously, in a seriously manner.
Right.
Because they were scrambling too, like to get us dinner.
Exactly.
So it's something that we're so used to. It's like we don't know. So we don't know, and that's when we come.
Right.
And then we kind of like explore that with them.
So what does your food prep look like?
Okay, I think that's what she asked me to the
food prep look like,
and I just went everywhere.
In the Franklin, no, we love that. In the Franklin house, what does food prep look like?
So easy stuff, right? Like things that they're very dynamic, and I can just like pop quick things together. So I decided what my proteins are gonna be for the week. So I pick 3 proteins. Then
you pick more than one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would think to me it would be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have the same thing every day. It's like third meal, I'd be like, okay, forget it.
Absolutely. So my family is very spoiled. So I do meal prep our lunches and snacks, but dinner, I make dinner fresh every night. But dinner is like 30 minutes for me. I'm so just used to my routine. So basically I have a protein and then I go from there. Like I go for, so I go like today I want to do like some tacos or whatever. So I have my protein, I get my starches, I get my vegetables, and I just go for that. I plan it out. I think that's the most important thing.
So do you plan out, kind of have an idea, and so you make sure you have the ingredients?
That's right. I plan it out. Okay. Sundays are my day off, where I'm just like, I do all my thinking for the week, like in front of me, because planning is everything. It's never going to go according to the plan. Right. But if you have your meals planned, there's already half of the battle.
Right.
So I have my vegetables. I always make sure that I always include a lot of colors, fruits. We do a lot of salads at nighttime, like fun stuff with fruits and vegetables.
Right.
So, I just plan ahead.
Okay.
Honestly, I plan ahead.
Planning is the key.
This is
what Coach Evelyn is saying. Planning is the key.
And it doesn't have to be too long. Just like quick 20, 15 minutes. And just think about what are you gonna feel your body? How do you want to feel this week? You don't feel great.
Right.
Yeah, let's fill our body with good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So when you, how do you deal with, or how do you help and assist a client that struggle? I think most people at one time, actually everyone struggles at one time with motivation.
Absolutely.
So what would you, how for anybody out there who's like, oh gosh, that sounds really great, but I just like, I just don't feel like I need a kick in the butt. I need something, but I just can't. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to get motivated.
Absolutely. So over the years, I have found that small additions. I don't like to use the word change too much because it already sounds kind of, but what are pieces that we can add and what are some things that we can minimize, right? So if it starts with just the breakfast piece of it, let's just start with breakfast.
Right.
Like one meal at a time, or if it's the lunch that they're struggling with, just getting that piece and bringing lunch to work, because work you can have like temptations because there's all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
So it's like one thing at a time. For some of my clients, I start with exercise first and just speak with them about nutrition before I even go there.
Right.
Because them showing up and working out is already better than they were doing before.
Right.
And then from there, just presenting them with the idea and kind of talking about it a couple of times, in a way, almost becomes like their idea.
Right.
Because we're so, we're brainstorming about it together, ask them questions and kind of, let them explore that idea.
Right.
So it's almost like, I present the idea to them and they come back in when they're ready.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So for you, it's not when somebody you do take on a new client, is it, especially here at the club, but I'm not sure if you train privately, but when you take somebody on, you let them determine, like, we're going for fitness. Fitness is the focus first, and then maybe nutrition comes in, but you kind of I would imagine, I think there'd be a great segue if like they come in, they're like, oh, I really don't feel like doing it. Like, oh, what'd you eat today? And then that just kind of is the catalyst to bring that conversation.
Correct.
Okay.
For me, the clients that I have that have shown the most success and adherence to the program are the ones that it's a natural change, right? I Some clients, they come in, they're like, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I want to go from 0 to 10. And that's the ones that usually don't last too long because it's too much, too much at once.
Yeah.
So just from them walking in and making the decision that they're ready to start training, that's huge.
Right.
So I kind of just observe them and I let them know, I'm like, nutrition and supplements are a huge part of this, together with sleep, right? Low stress.
Right.
And let's go through our first week. I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me, and slowly we're going to start implementing changes, especially if it doesn't come from them immediately. If they come from them where they're like, tell me what to do, I'll let them know, listen, I'm going to give you ideas and we're going to go from there. But in my opinion, a small natural, not change, but like addition to the new things that I want to implement to their lives is more, it's real.
Right.
Than something that is just done out of right away.
So for those people out there that are thinking that when they do something, they have to make these big 0 to 100 changes, you're saying definitely you want it to be gradual. So y'all, when somebody comes in and says you need to change your whole life, that's when you need to say, maybe you're not the person for me.
Yeah. In any given, right? I do also respect every other style of training, every other style of anything.
Right.
That's just how I operate.
Right.
And I think the body responds well to that.
Right.
Versus something that is shocking and then you just do it for a couple of months, 6 months, and then you go back to your old habits.
Right.
I like to install new habits. Right. New like a new lifestyle. It takes time.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself grace, right? You're gonna fall a couple times until it becomes your decision. You know what? Actually, I feel better if I do this.
Right.
I've done it a few times and I made errors and I want to stick with this because it's better for me.
Exactly.
That's when it sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What has been the most rewarding experience that's happened with a client and of somebody who's just made either a change or you've just seen them even maybe it's not even a physical, maybe it's not so much a physical change, but it's an emotional or a deeper change within themselves?
Yeah. I have many wonderful stories regarding that, but I think one of the stories that really stays with me. It was one of my clients. He had a car accident. Okay. And he was told that he probably, wouldn't be able to walk again. And there are a lot of activities in his life that will be restricted. And I'm a big believer in positive thinking, right? That's like the body responds well to it. And there are many times that things are told to you, and that can be anything. You start believing it.
Right.
You start believing it. It can be with anything in life.
The mind is so powerful.
So powerful. And he is just this beautiful soul. He has a beautiful wife, what I also trained her, and 2 beautiful children. And he was told that he would be very limited. And he showed up to his workouts, and he had the most beautiful insight with himself and his body. He really wanted to make a change for himself. And we got him into a beautiful place where he's back to work now. He's doing his activities. He had a new baby that, it was just like life changing for him.
Right.
So that was very rewarding for me to just like be able to guide him in the right direction.
Right.
He didn't know how, I don't think he knows how much he gave it to me as much as, there was a great exchange, just seeing like he starting to just progress within his health and within his family, within himself.
Right.
So that was a great, great experience for sure.
So fun. So you also, I know there's another aspect of you that you enjoy. I mean, she doesn't only just train people, but she does all this stuff as well. And so you just recently participated you've done 2 fitness competitions. And so share with my audience a little bit about the experiences, the things that you've done, and what you got out of that, and then how you were able to kind of share that with your clients as well.
Absolutely. I have always been very active, right? And I love to try different things. And in my opinion, the body likes different things. The body likes to be exposed to like different activities and things like that. And so I have ran. I was a runner for a while. I ran some races. I practiced kung fu for 2 years. I know it was on my bucket list, and through COVID, I decided to
Right.
do kung fu. Recently, we have done like a high rocks and a deca race too. And for me, more than just like your placement, like where you end up into that competition, it's just like the the good feeling of completing something
Right.
and training for something and being part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really good for the heart. It's really good to just create a goal within for yourself. So I really enjoy those. I mean, I don't get too crazy on those just because it can be like a lot of stress in the body. That's
Right.
another thing too, right? We talk about exercise, and we cannot forget exercise is stress on the body, especially depends on what you do.
Right.
I have a thyroid diagnosis that I've been like dealing with for a while. It's a real thing, and I have found that actually like those kind of activities it affects directly with my thyroid because the stress in the body. So yeah, I love being challenged and getting my body to do things that they're so amazing that you train for, and sometimes you don't know you can, but also just being aware that too much of one thing can be too much, right? So like mixing things up, it's always like the best idea, I think.
Right. Yeah. What's your ideal workout?
So that's how I got into Pilates.
Okay.
Right?
That's right, y'all.
Yeah,
Pilates. We haven't even talked about Pilates.
That's right. So that's the latest for me. I've been certified for about a year now, and it was life-changing for me. I'm guilty of it myself, like stretching, flexibility, all kinds of like mobility work. I wasn't really good at. We try our best, but especially with our professions, we take care of so many people that sometimes we, are guilty of it.
Yeah.
So when I found Pilates, it was best of both worlds. I was having like the mobility that I needed, but also with some strength. And I was able to tap on parts of my body that I wasn't, I'm not even aware of.
Right.
So that changed a lot of what I do on a daily basis, and especially because our body changes as we get older.
Absolutely.
Things change. Our hormones are changing. It's everything. It's just in like forever changing within, especially for women.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with Pilates, I found a calm in the nervous system, right? Because it's a slower pace. You're not like banging. Well, sometimes you're banging Pilates session, but it's more of like elongation of the body. It's more of like a connection that you get, especially with your powerhouse, where everything lives, right? So I was able to just really tap deep into like how my body really feels. Almost in with nutrition, it's like getting more in touch within yourself. That is so important. Right. We don't take enough time for that.
No.
Yeah.
No. So that leads me to my next question.
Did I answer your question?
You did.
I did.
Okay. Pilates. So you did.
No, you asked me the perfect workout.
Yeah.
Mixture. The mixture of it. Yeah, it's like you have to have your cardio.
Right.
Have to have the cardio.
I run into her all the time coming back from a run.
Yeah,
she's out
outside
run. Posts on Instagram.
Yes.
Up for a run.
Yes. Outside run. I love cardio. I love going outside. Again, it's like the nervous system. Running is already so stressful.
Right.
And going outside and seeing things makes it a little more enjoyable for me. Definitely lifting, right? Especially for us women to prevent or help with bone density, super important. And I love Pilates.
Right.
So cardio, little lifting, and Pilates.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would be a piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to make a change but is just having a hard time getting started? What would you say would be the Evelyn, the Coach Evelyn, piece of advice?
I would say look for others that are doing the same that you're doing. Okay, like sometimes doing something alone is hard. It's really hard. Listening to podcasts of people talking about it, talking to a friend, finding like a gym or facility, a studio that you feel that like comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, because one thing is like join a gym, but then you're like, what am I even doing here?
Right.
Outsource coaches, people that are going to be able to guide you in the right direction, and just know that health and nursing is an investment, right? It's a total investment. Sometimes you're like, oh my god, money's tight. I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But sometimes investing in your health,
Right.
it's just life changing. Like maybe you do not need that purse, maybe you do not need that, right? It's for real.
Right.
It's a real thing.
Right.
And those things make you feel better for a little bit, but then you're not going to the root of the problem. Sometimes you don't have all the answers, you have to outsource the answers.
Right.
And there are people out there that can help. So just looking for help, and asking questions, and really talking about things that are uncomfortable. Being open about like, what do I really need?
Right.
What is like what is my heart telling me that I need right now?
Right.
It's help with nutrition. Well, let's take care of that.
Yeah.
But it can be overwhelming sometimes. Like, where do I even start?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, long story short, I would say just look for help, look for answers, and outsource, and get out there, talk about it. It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
Everybody struggles.
Right.
Everybody struggles.
Yeah. So how could people connect with you?
How you connect with me? You can find me on Instagram. Here at the club. You
So
can connect with me.
Brazilian.
Yes, it's Brazilian BB. BB is my Instagram. It's a great way to connect with me. I'm always up for chatting and just talking and all that good stuff. I'm super passionate about like what I do for a living. I feel very fortunate to be able to help, and listen. And sometimes even having people talking out loud, they can answer their own questions. Right. Exactly. Just like someone that you can just like talk and brainstorm. Someone that's not judgmental, right? Like somebody that's just gonna be like a soundboard that you can just be. Yeah. Just be. Yeah. So yeah, Brazilian BB, I think that's the best way to go about it. It's like Instagram. So
absolutely. Well, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for being
here.
So
fun.
Thank you so much for being here. And y'all, I hope that you got amazing insights out of this, because I think Evelyn dropped so many things that were so important. I think the thing that I loved the most was just that piece of planning. I used to have a business coach that said, what gets planned is what gets done. And so if you don't plan something, nothing's going to get done.
And it doesn't have to be 100%, right?
No, it has just small. I love the 50 and take one meal at a time. If you've got your breakfast dialed in, great. If lunch is the problem, just deal with lunch. But don't try to make these massive changes. And y'all know I talk about that all the time. That's something that our brain's going to resist it. Our body's going to resist it. And we're more likely to fail, and then we feel terrible. And so that just sets us back. So, so many important things we learned today. So thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you so much for having me. That was so fun.
And thank you all for listening and watching. And if you have any questions, if you want to connect with Evelyn on Instagram, please find her. I'll have her handle in the show notes, as well as any other pertinent information about her and ways to connect with her. So again, thank you so much for joining me this week, and I will see you all next week. All right, take care, y'all.
Bye.